Tony Abbott has laid out a $5 billion welcome mat for business in the biggest promise of the election campaign so far. The coalition is planning to cut the company tax rate by 1.5%, taking it down to 28.5%. While industry groups have welcomed the proposal, some are questioning whether any businesses will actually be better off. Neil Woolridge reports.
Tony Abbott.
A pitch to the party faithful and a pitch to workers.
We are today reducing company tax so that your job security increases.
Tony Abbott is promising a 1.5% reduction in the company tax rate from July 2015, saving business an estimated $5 billion over its first 4 years.
Company tax in the rest of the world averages less than 25%, and in the OECD it's around 25%. And in our region, it's a lot less, so we've got to get it down.
Reductions in corporate tax attract investment to a country, and at a time when the dollar was so high, and this was the Henry argument, we needed to make it much more attractive for overseas investment to come into the industries that were being punished by a dollar at parity.
We pay $9 billion, a 45% tax rate. I think that's a fair rate of tax. Tax is one of many issues that we need to talk about to encourage Australia's competitiveness and its productivity.
But while the coalition is giving to business with one hand, it's planning to take with the other. The coalition has previously announced a company tax levy of 1.5% on all businesses with a taxable income above $5 million to pay for its parental leave scheme.
For big business, ultimately, they're going to be in exactly the same position. The company tax rate drops to 28.5%, but then with the paid parental leave scheme, they'll have that 1.5% levy, for want of a better expression. So in raw terms, they'll be in precisely the same position.
Their policy is to cut company tax for business, then increase it for big business. So they're cutting it and then increasing it. Well, forgive me for failing to see the logic there. And then, of course, this does not apply to most small businesses. The vast majority of small businesses are not incorporated.
People want to know where the money that's going to be lost is going to be made up, because we're already short-funded. We're already in deficit.
Adam Schwab, who runs e-commerce sites like Kudo, is one of those smaller businesses that would fall outside the parental leave levy for now. But he says a company tax cut would make no difference to his after-tax earnings anyway.
As an owner-manager, we have to somehow either pay ourselves a dividend or pay ourselves a wage, and that's taxed at the marginal rate. So cutting company tax doesn't make one iota of difference to us.
Adam Schwab argues a more meaningful measure would be to reduce payroll tax. However, that's a state matter.
Most government policies tend to cause more harm than good, and this is a good example that seems to be pandering to a certain group. We certainly wouldn't be making a hiring decision based on the change of a company tax rate.
Meanwhile, the Greens are also making a pitch for the business vote, offering a 2% cut in the company tax rate for small firms. They say it's a move that's been tried overseas and would cost less than $2 billion over 4 years in revenue foregone.
Despite a few months of turbulence